In a major security blunder, top Trump administration officials accidentally shared sensitive war plans in a messaging group. The incident occurred ahead of the U.S. military strikes on Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis, involved details about targets, weapons, and attack sequencing. The group was discovered on the encrypted Signal app. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly posted critical information, just hours before the March 15 attack.
Talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, 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 or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does.
Democratic lawmakers quickly condemned the leak, calling it a breach of national security and a violation of the law.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it.
The White House confirmed the incident and said an investigation was underway, while President Trump claimed to be unaware of the situation. Worldwide News Report.
Hyundai Motor Group revealed a major $20 billion investment in the United States during a ceremony at the White House on March 24. This includes a $5 billion steel plant in Louisiana, marking a significant step in Hyundai's U.S. expansion.
This will be Hyundai's first ever steel mill in the United States, one of the largest companies in the world, by the way, supplying steel for its auto parts and auto plants in Alabama and Georgia, which will soon produce more than 1 million American-made cars every single year. Cars are coming into this country at levels never seen before.
The investment plan was discussed by Louisiana Governor, Hyundai Chairman Yuuzhan Chung, and President Trump. This announcement comes at a time of growing trade tensions, as Trump threatens new tariffs on imports.
Hyundai will be producing steel in America and making its cars in America, and as a result, they'll not have to pay any tariffs. You know, there are no tariffs if you make your product in America.
Hyundai's new investments aim to boost U.S. manufacturing, including a new $7.59 billion car and battery factory in Georgia, further strengthening the automaker's presence in the U.S. Worldwide News Report. On March 23, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre launched his campaign for Prime Minister, promising policies that prioritize Canada, including cutting the tax and government waste. He also called for policies that put Canada first.
Only 6 days after Donald Trump threatened tariffs on our country, our party decided to move his headquarters out of Canada to the United States. He knows all of his investments, but he won't tell you, even though those interests run against Canada's interests, my friends. It is time to stop putting the Liberal Party first. It is time to put Canada first.
Prime Minister Mark Carney called a snap election for April 28, citing the growing threat from U.S. President Donald Trump, who has imposed tariffs on Canada and made threats about annexation.
If we're fortunate enough to elect Pierre as our Prime Minister and we get a majority Conservative government, it's going to be much better for the citizens of Canada. He'll settle the dispute that we've got with U.S. President Donald Trump. He's much more of a leader, a negotiator. He's firm, and he will make Canada first again.
As the election nears, polls show tight competition between the Liberals and Conservatives, with Canadians emphasizing the need for a leader who will protect the country's interests. Worldwide News Report.
On March 24, President Donald Trump doubled down on his suggestion that the U.S. should take control of Greenland, citing national security concerns. His comments followed criticism from Greenland's outgoing Prime Minister, who condemned a U.S. delegation's planned visit to the territory.
They haven't been taken good care of, and I think Greenland's going to be something that maybe is in our future. It's important from the standpoint of international security. And if you look at the ships outside of Greenland, you have Russia, you have China, you have lots of different people and lots of different places, and it cannot go on the way it is. I'll make a statement. It's not going to happen.
The group led by Vance will visit U.S. military sites and attend a dog-sled race, but Greenland's government refused to meet with them, calling the visit a provocation. The U.S. delegation's trip comes as Greenland faces political uncertainty, with a caretaker government in place after recent elections. Both Denmark and Greenland have rejected Trump's annexation idea, emphasizing respect for Greenland's sovereignty. Worldwide News Report. On March 25, U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz took responsibility for a leak involving a signal chat that revealing sensitive details about upcoming U.S. military strikes on Yemen. Waltz called the leak embarrassing, but insisted that no classified information was shared, despite widespread concern over the details revealed in the chat.
It's embarrassing, right. Yes. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I just talked to Elon on the way here. We've got the best technical minds looking at how this happened. I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy, and I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone.
The leak has sparked controversy, with Democrats calling for resignations. President Trump defended his national security team and emphasized that an investigation was underway to determine how Goldberg was added to the secret discussion.
The attack was totally successful. It was, I guess, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. But I always say you have to learn from every experience. I think it was very unfair the way they attacked Michael. He's a good person. The person that was on just happens to be a sleazebag, so maybe that's just coincidence. I don't know.
Trump also voiced support for Waltz, dismissing calls for an apology. Worldwide News Report. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance announced on March 25 that he would visit Greenland as part of a high-profile U.S. delegation. The trip, scheduled from March 27 to 29, will include White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Energy Secretary Chris Wright. The group plans to visit a U.S. military base and attend a national dog sled race.
I'm going to visit some of our guardians in the Space Force on the northwest coast of Greenland and also just check out what's going on with the security there of Greenland. As you know, it's really important. A lot of other countries have threatened Greenland, have threatened to use its territories and its waterways to threaten the United States, to threaten Canada.
Greenland's government has strongly opposed U.S. efforts to take over the island, with Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen calling the U.S. pressure unacceptable. Critics argue the visit is provocative and not in line with diplomatic norms.
People are upset. This is absolutely without the norms of normal diplomacy that the Second Lady of the U.S. is going to attend this dog sled race in Greenland. There is a growing sense that we need to rally around Greenland more. We need to be more articulate in our critique of the way the U.S. behaves in the Arctic.
President Trump has recently revived calls for the U.S. to take control of Greenland, citing its strategic importance. Greenland and Denmark continue to reject the idea. Worldwide News Report.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem revealed that Russia is using its icebreakers in the Arctic for surveillance against the U.S. Noem emphasized that Washington will ramp up efforts to secure its Arctic interests.
We have a cutter that we have sped up the process, sir, the icebreaker. That'll be hitting the waters here this summer, and we've got 2 more that will be coming. Russia's using their cutters and icebreakers up in the Arctic to do surveillance on us, and we're going to reposition our fleet.
The U.S., Canada, and Finland have announced a joint initiative to bolster their icebreaker fleets. This pact will focus on shared information, training in shipyards, and promoting the purchase of icebreakers from American, Canadian, or Finnish manufacturers. Worldwide News Report.